What's up everyone, my name is Dylan Haugen. I am 5'10" and 16 years old, but 15 in all the clips of this video. Here's a little bit of what I can do. And basically today, guys, we're going to be going through all my earliest dunking videos, dunking on 7.5 as you can see here, and showing the progress all the way to my recent first between the legs dunk. A lot of people always try to find the best exercise for jumping higher, and to be honest with you, this right here, dunking on low rims at a young age and exercising those muscles early and learning the technique on how to jump higher has been very beneficial to me and to a lot of other dunkers. So this is something I would definitely recommend, even if it looks dumb when you're really young. As you can probably see right here, what I'm doing is nothing crazy. I'm probably dunking on 7.5, 8 feet, although those were some 8.6 attempts right there. But doing this 2 to 3, even sometimes 4 hours a day was very beneficial to me. I was a little hesitant to even include some of these really low rim clips, but as you watch, I'm sure you'll notice that my coordination and just my jumping gets a lot better in general. I started to learn a lot of trick dunks just by dunking every day and having fun with it. Around 2020 is when I really started to grow a bit more, and here are my first like tennis ball dunks on 9 feet. And then just a little bit after that, getting my first, what I called a dunk at the time on 9 feet. I wouldn't count this now, but I was really hyped at the time. Yeah, I just kept playing on these little hoops with this little ball, and I just really started to learn a ton of new dunks, just being creative with it and having a lot of fun. I didn't really dunk much between November and January or February because of basketball, but when I came back, 9 feet got really easy, as you can see there, and all my trick dunks I still had generally consistent and still adding new ones, and my vertical just really went up a lot during that basketball season. Right here, I'm 5'7" and 13 years old, and that's my first 9.6 dunk and touching rim on 10 feet for one of the first times. Although I was starting to see these really massive vertical gains, I was still messing around on low rims a lot, and this truly benefited my vertical more than anything at the time because I didn't really start lifting until around now. 2021 was really just an insane year for my dunk progress because I went from barely being able to dunk 9 feet the year before to pretty consistently dunking on 9.6 and starting to really attempt these 10-foot dunks. And then randomly, I just started getting really close. Grabbing the rim became easy. I was getting these decent dunk attempts pretty consistently, and then this one day right here, I had so many close attempts that I should have made, and I just started trying over and over to dunk on 10, more than dunking on low rims. I had also grown an inch pretty recently, so I'm about 5'8" in these videos, and as you can see, grabbing the rim got pretty consistent, and I just randomly started getting really close on these. Right here, I had a little session on 9.8, 9.9 and got a two-hander, so I knew that I was close enough. And right here, in September 2021, I got my first official 10-foot dunk at 5'8", 13 years old. This was a really meaningful moment for me, and I really just truly didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be a good dunker, but at this time, I hadn't really decided I wanted to be a pro yet. And I started to hit these dunks more consistently. I was lifting more at this point, and I really started to get consistent with these dunks. But then in January, I had a pretty bad knee injury. I partially tore something in my knee, and I fractured something else. So I was on crutches for quite a while. But luckily, I came back pretty early. The injury didn't last too long, and finally came back in February. It had only been around a month. And then my first dunk session back, I hit a two-hander, which was very surprising considering I had not jumped for about a month. After getting injured and losing my ability to jump temporarily, I was really scared that my bounce would be gone when I came back. But as soon as I got off those crutches, it had came back fully and even way better than before. And I started to unlock a ton of new stuff. Keep in mind, at this time, I'm still around 5'8", 5'9", and 14 years old. And at this time, I was also dunking on 10 feet more than low rims because it was snowy outside and I couldn't really go out there. But around this time, dunking became really consistent, unlocked a ton of new stuff, off dribble, 360, two hands became really consistent, and then summer rolled around. In summer of 2022, I was back on low rims and I was unlocking a ton of stuff, first between the legs on 9 feet, reverse windmills, all that. And then in June, I was blessed to be able to go to Dunk Camp 2022, where I met a bunch of people that I look up to: Jordan Kilgannon, Steven Selly, Isaiah, One Foot God, all those guys. And I did pretty good. I was the youngest person there, but in day 4, I competed on the 8-foot dunk contest. Went pretty crazy, not gonna lie. Hit this 360 under both for the first time in contest. Did a bunch of other fun stuff, and unfortunately came out on second place to a really good dunker. So not really that disappointed because I didn't think I would be in that position at all. But after dunk camp, I came back with so much more love for dunking, and I just kept going on the low rim, unlocked a ton more stuff on 9 feet, which I hope would eventually carry over to 10 feet. Now this summer, I was really spending a lot more time on low rims than 10 feet, but I was still dunking 10 feet pretty consistently. I could still do it. Wasn't necessarily hitting a ton of new dunks, but I was having a lot of fun on low rims. I was hitting a lot of crazy stuff, and I was just really having fun with it, man. This was around a 4-hour session. I spent 2 hours trying that dunk right there, 360 kamikaze. And after, I went on 10 feet and almost hit my first windmill. And around this time, I became really obsessed with trying to windmill because it was kind of like my first big trick dunk. So I was trying it a lot, and this led me to have a lot more 10-foot sessions, which definitely benefited me a ton again. And all these 10-foot sessions led to a lot of new dunks. Windmill took quite a while to get, but definitely benefited me a lot because in November, I got my first 2 in-game dunks as a 5'9" or 10, 15-year-old. This session right here was in November, and it was 2 days after getting those in-game dunks. I was feeling really good, and I hit my first windmill. Was honestly just in shock because I did not expect to hit it that day. After I hit the windmill, again, I was kind of conflicted on what I wanted to try next, and so I just started trying everything. 360 windmill, between the legs, as you just saw, and I started to jump really high compared to earlier. It took me a while to get my second windmill because basketball season really kills my bounce, but in March, I hit my second windmill and had a really good session, and I was feeling ready to take this summer really seriously and show out at dunk camp. So in May, as you can see, getting decently close on between the legs. I go to dunk camp in June, test a 38-inch vertical, touching 11 feet, but I honestly felt like I could have done way better because I had a really bad knee pain flare up that day. But I still ended up dunking pretty good, hit my windmills, hit my regular dunks. And first clips from Dunkademics, that was obviously really cool. Punched this windmill, and I got this really close EASTBAY attempt, which just motivated me all over again to start grinding for this dunk, especially with all the pros and all the other dunkers there. But once again, basketball season was starting, AAU this time, and that just killed my bounce all over again. In August, I took a family trip to Boston and met up with a dunker named Artem there. Really nice guy. We had a great session outside, and I had another decently close between the legs attempt. Near the end of AAU, I started to have a lot of group sessions, especially with this group right here, the Minnesota Dunk Squad, which I actually founded right after dunk camp with a lot of great guys in it. And in these sessions, I was getting a lot of close or decently close between the legs attempts. This session specifically in September with my best dunking friend, Hunter Castona, I was jumping really high, probably hit my best dunk ever, which was this off-the-wall windmill right here. And during this session, I had my closest between the legs dunk attempts ever. I was back rimming them pretty consistently, and it was just very hard to see these not go in. But it was a really fun session overall. I just had a great time, hit some great dunks, and of course Hunter went crazy too. In October, I was grinding for this 360 windmill because I kind of lost some motivation to go for an EASTBAY, and it only took me 2 sessions. I was working really hard. I put a ton of attempts into that 360 windmill, and in the second session, after deciding to go for it, I hit it twice, and the net kind of screwed up the finish, but it was still really good. Now the session right after that, October 21st, 2023, I have a big group session with Hunter again, Gideon, and Jason Robinson. So a few guys from the Minnesota Dunk Squad. Immediately was jumping super high, feeling insanely good. Hit another 360 windmill. And then after watching Hunter hit his best dunk ever in under both, I felt a huge spurt of adrenaline. All my motivation came back to hit an EASTBAY, and I had my closest attempts ever. And then on the 4th try, this happened. Feeling all the hours of lifting, dunking, and just grinding for this dunk come together was just so surreal. It was an amazing moment that I'll never forget. And luckily, my guy Hanan Casts Graphics was there to film it. Go check him out on Instagram. This video is 100% the best video in my camera roll. Just an insanely high quality video and an insanely meaningful moment. It took me literal days to get over the feeling of making that dunk, so the next few dunks in this session were insanely high energy. Hit my first reverse windmill, my first double up, and somehow even my first double up windmill. The energy in the gym was so insane that not only I had my best session, but Hunter had arguably his best session, definitely hit his best dunk. Gideon had one of his best sessions ever, and sports mentor Jason Robinson hit some of the best dunks I've seen from him too. If you guys made it all the way to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you're new, please consider subscribing. It would mean a lot to me as we continue on this journey. This is not the end. There's still a ton more dunks to unlock. Since the making of this video, I've hit 2 more EASTBAYs in 2024, and the dunk is getting like pretty consistent now. Feeling like I can do it pretty often. But yeah, again, just tons more dunks to unlock. Just got to keep going. If you guys want to stay updated, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel right here. You can follow my Instagram at DylanHogan23. You can follow my TikTok at DH23YT. But yeah, guys, again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're new. And a new video coming next week. See you guys then.